Alright guys, today I'm going to be answering your questions that you left for me in my last Q&A. If you want me to answer your questions in the next Q&A, all you have to do is leave them down in the comment section of this video. Just as a quick side note, this week is actually my birthday, so if I don't post for one day, it's probably because I'm off buying a hooker or something like that. And in case you guys were wondering, I actually turned 103, I don't know, it's hard to keep track. But anyways, yeah, that's all good stuff. Let's start the video. The very first question is from Mist. What is your thoughts on making a new account, as well as which sub boss should you go for as a beginner? Alright, so I get asked to start a new account all the time, and I'm not going to do it, man. Grinding in this game just takes way too long, and there's no way I'm going to be doing that twice. I already did it once. I'm not doing it again. It might be easier now to start an account, just because we have Champions Arena and Raids, which helps you out a lot. We didn't have that when I started my account, which is when the game first came out, but still, it would still be a very long grind, and I don't have time to be working on my main account, to be working on my secondary account if I made one, and to also be working on videos. That's just not going to happen. And for the second part of the question, which is which sub boss should you go for as a beginner, I think you should either go for Gorilla Grodd or Captain Cold. Gorilla Grodd is a little bit easier, but if you have the Multiverse team, Captain Cold can be easy too. But definitely don't go for Horrific Scarecrow, as his random tag in buff is super annoying, and his armor piercing special too is really annoying as well. And don't go for Dr. Fate, because even though he's a little bit easier than Horrific Scarecrow, he can still be kind of annoying in the sense that he will be spamming a lot of special abilities, and his AI is a little bit weird as well. The next question is from Reddy. What do you think about introducing unique skins for every character in the game like they have it in the console version? Alright, so this idea is actually pretty good for this game, considering the fact that a lot of characters have a lot of passives. So, you know, the developers can't just be whipping out a new character all the time, because they would have to compete with all the other characters that have a million other passives. So the alternative would be bringing new skins for every single character. I think this would be a pretty great idea, but overall for me, I just care about the gameplay. I just care about doing good. I don't really care about how characters look, but, you know, it's still a really cool bonus if they did add it to the game. I'm definitely all for this, and there are some characters that I wish would look a little bit different, like the Flash. I just feel like he doesn't look like the Flash at all. Maybe if they were able to bring a new version of him, or maybe new gears that look a little bit different, it would make him look a lot better and a lot cooler. I would definitely like to see maybe Multiverse the Flash change from a Season 4 suit, because that's what he looks like right now, to a I think it's Season 6 suit, which looks really cool. The next question is from Prime. I'm a beginner and my best character is Suicide Squad Deadshot. I'm so sorry. What character should I go for, and where should I be spending my time? Alright, so I always recommend for people who do not know where they want to get their characters or what characters they want to get, just go to the stores. Go to the Arena store and go to the League store. You can be guaranteed to be getting those character shards as long as you keep grinding those game modes, and the characters that are there are really good. You can be getting, you know, King of Atlantis Aquaman, Predator Batman, Atrocitus Power Girl. There's a lot of really great characters over there, so just focus your attention on that. Moving on, the next question is from Jared Barons. Here's a question. I just got Nightwing and I'm wondering how should I build him. I'm looking for a damage dealer. Definitely do not build Nightwing as a damage dealer. He might be a decent damage dealer, but that's not his fullest potential. His fullest potential is as a tank, and especially with this character, because you want him to be blocking all the time so he can generate you power. That's the entire purpose of this character, so build him as a tank 100%. The next question is from Din. How do you get so high with Arena with a 1 million roster? Alright, so it depends on what your definition of high is. If you're trying to get to Elite 4, it's probably not going to happen, but you also have to consider when you created your account. If you go watch Sigvald the Grim, that man is getting up to Elite 4 with a brand new account, and I think his threat is barely at like 1 million or 2 million or something like that. And that's because he just created a new account, so he's in a really easy arena. So if you're at a 1 million roster and you're in a brand new arena, you can probably get up to Elite 4 as long as you keep on grinding. But again, I've said this many times, don't really focus on getting up to Elite 4. You'll get there, you'll be fine. One day you'll be up there. For now, just try to get to Elite 1 and then bump it up to Elite 2 and then Elite 3 and then Elite 4, and you know, just so on and so forth. Keep setting new goals, but try to be realistic about it. Don't think that you're going to be getting up to Elite 4 in the first week, the first month, maybe not even the first year. But of course, again, that just depends on when you created your account. The next question is from Udhav Jaju. I definitely said that wrong. Which characters would you place in top top 3 super moves, or can you just make a video about that? I've actually been planning to make a video like that, but honestly, super moves in this game just look really bad, I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably just have to say Green Lantern is one of my favorite super moves, Aquaman is one of my favorite super moves, and then the last one, I really want to say the Flash because I really like it when Flash starts running really fast. I don't know why, it's just, I think it's from the Flash show, you know, I'm just addicted to seeing him run really fast, but the graphics, they just don't look that great in cutscenes like this. So I guess the last one would probably have to go to Superman, just because it probably takes up the least amount of graphics to be doing. He basically just punches you in the sky and then punches you back down in the ground. So yeah, it would be Green Lantern, Superman, and then finally Aquaman. The next question is from Mikota. What's your ideal raid teams for T6 if you only upgraded to level 40 gear? I definitely go for using a lot of support characters, because with support characters, you don't really need to be doing much for them to be good, because again, they're just support characters. You just want to be using them for their passives. And to make them tanks, it's actually really easy. I can definitely do that with level 40 gears. But also that doesn't really matter, and the way that I'm going to explain this right now might be a little bit confusing, so just bear with me. So the question is asking me which teams would I like to have at only level 40 gears, and my response to that would be exactly the same teams that I have right now, except that their gears would drop to level 40. Again, that kind of sounds a little bit weird, but here's what I'm trying to say. So if every single character in the game, I had them at level 40 gears, the best damage dealer is still going to be the best damage dealer regardless of whether or not they're at level 50, level 60, or level 70 gear. Because that's just the way that that works. The best person for the job is going to be the best person for the job. That doesn't really change, you know, if their gears are only at level 30 or level 40 or level 50. Technically speaking, as long as everybody has the same level gear, and in this question he's asking me, you know, what if every single character on my team was level 40 gears, which team would I like to use? Then again, technically the teams would be exactly the same that I have right now. They would just be a little bit weaker. I hope I answered that right. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but that's my answer. The next question is from Mingwall the Warmer. Is Multiverse the Flash worth playing a lot of Arena? Definitely. He's a really great character and a super essential character for the Multiverse team. He really does help out a lot in that he gives you a lot of crit chance and a lot of crit damage, which means that you're not going to have to worry about adding those talents to your gear talents. So it saves you a lot of spots to add attack or health or whatever. Personally, for me, I like using him with Multiverse Armored Supergirl, and because of all of his passives and how much they help me out, my Multiverse Armored Supergirl is basically all attack. So he's definitely worth it. The next question is from the Torch Guy. How do you know if a character is a combo builder or a support character, etc? I'm assuming he's basically just trying to ask me, how do you figure out which character fits their best use? Well, in terms of combo builders, there's only a few people that have a 3-hit fast attack. So most of the time when you build a combo builder, it's only going to be 2 hits, and almost every single character in the game has a 2-hit combo. So yeah, building up, you know, combo builders isn't really that hard. Building up tanks also isn't that hard. You just need to add a lot of health and a lot of defense. Making support characters, you don't really have to do anything with them. You just basically look at their passives, and if they help out their team a lot, well, there you go. That's a support character. The real question is, how do you know when someone's a damage dealer? And that's very difficult to answer. And honestly, I don't really understand all of the math side of this. I usually just go watch a bunch of YouTube videos and I just get my information from there. When the game first came out, everybody was just experimenting on which character was a damage dealer. For me, I would just look at the base stat, and if a character had a really high base stat of attack, well, there you go. That was my damage dealer. That's why I built Predator Batman to be a damage dealer, even before I even knew that he was supposed to be a damage dealer. So if you want to take your chances and use the same method that I used, go ahead, but that's not really recommended. You have a bunch of YouTube videos that you can go watch nowadays. So yeah, just go watch them, and then, you know, they'll help you decide which characters you should build, you know, a certain way. The next question is from Galaxy Rama. Is Firestorm worth getting in Operations? Bro, I don't know if you're trolling me or if you're serious, but no, he's definitely not worth getting in Operations. The next question is from PUBG Top Game. Can I transfer my Injustice 2 account from Android to iOS? And can you do a build guide for Multiverse the Flash? Alright, so I've only ever played Injustice 2 Mobile on Android, so I'm not too sure, but I'm 99% sure that you cannot transfer over from Android to iPhone in terms of moving your account. So if you're going to move over to iPhone or Android, you're going to have to start over. And honestly, in terms of making a guide for the Flash, I feel like there's so many of those out there that you could just go watch on YouTube, or you could just go pick up other people's builds when you see them in Arena. But a really quick rundown of building up Multiverse Flash. You pretty much don't have to do anything, just add a bunch of, fast attack to him, because he's really just supposed to be a combo builder. Yes, he could be doing a lot of damage, but especially if you have Multiverse Armored Supergirl, there's really no point. Multiverse Armored Supergirl is going to be doing all the heavy lifting, so yeah, just build the Flash as a combo builder. The next question is from Soda. Who's better, Justice League Aquaman or King of Atlantis Aquaman? And it's gotta be easily King of Atlantis Aquaman. He's just an absolute beast in raids. He does so much damage. He has so many different passives that are super helpful. And even though Justice League Aquaman does have a very, very effective armor pierce passive, it's still not as great as all of the different buffs and passives that King of Atlantis Aquaman has. And even if you were to pair up Justice League Aquaman with all of the other really great Justice League members to help him out in terms of, doing more damage, King of Atlantis Aquaman is still going to be doing way more damage because he's just that awesome. The next question is from Kumar. How do you find gear for Multiverse Flash and Multiverse White Canary? And this is a question that I get a lot, not specifically for the Flash or White Canary, but just for a lot of characters in general in Injustice 2 Mobile. And this is something that I do not like about the game. The fact that I've been playing since day one, and right now I'm confused about where to get certain gears for certain characters, that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm assuming that a lot of these characters that people are having questions on where they get their gears, it's just gotta be from raid drops. It just has to be, because there's nowhere else where you can buy it. Like, for example, with the Batman Ninja team, my Batman Ninja Catwoman and my Batman Ninja Robin, they both don't have their boots, and you cannot go buy them in the arena store or anywhere else unless you were to spend your real money on special offers. Aside from that, you would have to get lucky in raid drops. So yeah, I'm assuming that's where you're gonna have to get those gears again for the Flash and Canary. The next question is from Ninja Gods. I recently got Silver Banshee. Do you have any tips on how to build her? What kind of talents, types of gear effects? Alright, so she is actually really, really easy to build. You just want to add a lot of crit chance, a lot of crit damage, and a lot of attack. Thankfully, one of her gears actually adds additional defense, so you don't have to worry about anything in terms of the defensive side. And even if it didn't, you still shouldn't worry about any sort of defense on damage dealers. So yeah, with Silver Banshee, she's a complete beast at being a damage dealer, so you just want to focus on all of those attack stats. The next question is from Juice Justice Gaming. Can you make a video saying what characters are best for operations and have bonuses on stuff? So the two characters that you really want to have in operations is Silver Catwoman and Master Thief Catwoman, because they give you extra credits. And even though it's not a lot, it's still extra, and these characters aren't really that strong or really great in general. So throwing them in operations just benefits you. As for the last character that you want to throw into operations, I personally always throw in the weakest character in my roster, just because, the chances of me using them is basically zero. And I never throw in characters that I'm just starting to build. It does seem logical to throw them in there because you're going to be getting kind of free XP, but me personally, I'd rather keep them in my roster and be able to use them in Arena or in Champions Arena or wherever to practice with them. I do that a lot, so I never throw in characters like that into operations, just my weakest characters, and definitely Master Thief Catwoman and Silver Catwoman. The next question is from Nub Nub. What do you think about Darkseid and Arkham Knight Batman in hero chests? Alright, so I do like Darkseid. I think he's a really great arena character, and he can do decent damage in raids. Arkham Knight Batman, I'm not a huge fan, but he does look pretty cool, and he's not a bad character. My only problem with both of these characters is the fact that they're legendary, which means that they're really hard to get, and you're going to be needing to spend a lot of time and a lot of gems to unlock them. Me personally, I'm not going to make that sacrifice. I'm pretty happy with my King of Atlantis Aquaman and Last Laugh Joker. The next question is from Lucid Wave. For a beginner, who is the best to use sim chips on in the campaign? Alright, so who you should be unlocking in the campaign first? I personally think it's at Lantern Armored Aquaman, just because he's really, really great. He heals, he has an armor pierce special, he also has a power drain special, and that power drain special also does hazard dot damage. So at Lantern Armored Aquaman is really, really diverse. He has a lot of really cool things going for him, and I definitely think he's probably the best character in campaign that you can unlock. However, if you're a beginner and you really want to get a lot of credits, well then obviously you want to be using your sim chips to farm the final chapter, because that's the one that's going to give you the most amount of credits. The next question is from Noah Serrano. He's basically asking me how come sometimes the opponent revives and it's got that little purple effect to it. And I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that's actually one of the artifacts. So yeah, if you add that to any character, they're basically going to come back to life with some health. The next question is from Tsunami. What do you think of MKX Mobile? I've only played MKX Mobile 2 different times, and honestly, I just went back to Injustice 1 Mobile. I had so many things already unlocked in Injustice 1 Mobile. I felt like starting to grind on MKX Mobile, it would just take way too long. Maybe MKX Mobile is better than Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 Mobile, but I'm not too sure. I definitely want to give it another try though, since a lot of people are always asking me to play some MKX Mobile, and I do see some gameplay that looks really, really cool. It's just that I'm so far behind also on everything that's released. You know, there's so many different characters that I just felt like it would be like having a second job if I started to play MKX Mobile. So I don't know, maybe I'll try it in the near future. The next question is from Romeo Mayer. How do you get Amazon Wonder Woman? And this is an amazing question, and this just goes to show how much the developers forget about their characters. She was actually one character that you can unlock from daily challenges, but they stopped giving you shards for her. So you're basically just stuck at like 4 stars, and if you weren't there when her little login rewards happened, then you basically can't unlock her at all. It's really, really dumb. If you did unlock her though, but you want to promote her, then you could just go ahead and use some prismatic shards for her, or just some might, shards for her that you can get from Champions Arena. The next question is from Giovanni Lara. Question, do you think Classic Superman and Armored Superman and Batman are a good team? Honestly, it doesn't really sound like a good team. Usually a good team has 3 different characters that are working really, really great together. Usually you want to have a damage dealer, a support, and then a tank. This team doesn't really seem to have that. I don't know which character would play which role. It just seems like you're adding 3, random characters together. Maybe they might work great and they might do decent damage, but in terms of it being a really great team, it just doesn't really have the components for it. But I do like Classic Superman, and I do like Batman. I'm assuming you're talking about Silver Batman, since you didn't specify which other kind of Batman. Those characters are really, really great. I don't really like Armored Superman that much, but if you want to make him a tank, go for it. He can definitely be a good tank, especially since he has a reflective shield. The next question is from Revy, and he's basically asking me, does Shazam's attack passive work for himself too? Because it only works for Arcane and Might heroes. And yes, it does actually work for himself as well. But keep in mind that the additional attack that is passive is adding is only base attack, not overall attack. The next question is from Nikki. Why do you use Silver Dr. Fate when Power Girl does the same thing? Well, because Dr. Fate is a silver character, I cannot get his gears from raids, but with Power Girl I can. And because of this, it makes it so much easier for me to build up Power Girl as a tank than Dr. Fate. So usually I will put Dr. Fate in a team that has 2 really great characters that I don't really need Dr. Fate to be tagging in. I just want his passive to be there as a support character. And whenever I use Power Girl, I will usually have her as a tank because I will put her with, usually it's Black Adam. Black Adam is not a really great tank, and any other character that I use with Black Adam, I don't really need to build him up as a tank because Power Girl is going to be my tank and she's also going to be my support character at the exact same time. I know that they do the exact same thing, Dr. Fate and Power Girl, but it really just depends on my circumstances whether or not I'm going to be using Power Girl in some teams and Dr. Fate in some teams. Usually though, again, because Dr. Fate is really, really weak for me, I usually pair him up with 2 other characters that are really, really strong just to counter that. And with these 2 characters, Dr. Fate and Power Girl, I just want their passives. That's all I care about. The next question is from the almighty Big Daddy Thanos. How to master Predator Batman and Lantern Armored Aquaman team like me? Well, I actually have an entire video dedicated to this, and it's in one of my playlists that's called Showcasing My Teams. I actually only have 1 video in there. I really do need to make more videos about those because it was supposed to be an entire series, but the only video that's up there is specifically me using my Lantern Armored Aquaman and my Predator Batman team, and I explain how I use them all thoroughly. So if you're curious as how I use that team, just go ahead and check out that video. The next question is from Joao Victor. What's the most useless character in your opinion? I think that title definitely has to go to Firestorm. There's really just no use to having him at all. He just decreases the amount of dot damage that you're going to be taking and that your team is going to be taking, which isn't really that impressive at all, considering the fact that we already have John Stewart Green Lantern, which does exactly the same thing as Firestorm and actually has even more passives, and one of his special abilities is armor piercing. So honestly, Firestorm is really, really useless, and there was no point in adding him to the game. If he disappeared tomorrow, I probably wouldn't even notice. The next question is from Mist. Who do you want to see in Injustice 3? I actually have a video of 10 characters that I would like to see in Injustice 2 Mobile, and honestly, all of those characters I would also like to see them in Injustice 3 Mobile, obviously also including the roster that we now have in Injustice 2 Mobile. Maybe tweaked just a little bit, but yeah, all of those characters I would really like to see them. The final question is from Jimbo the Legend. In raids, why do you use Black Lightning and not Green Arrow? Arrow gives you more and better buffs and you can deal much more damage. Well, honestly, I flip-flop between Green Arrow and Black Lightning all the time. It just honestly really doesn't make that much of a difference for me because my team can defeat Captain Cold really easily. Sometimes I want to do more damage with Green Arrow, but sometimes I really don't want to deal with Captain Cold spamming me with a bunch of specials, so I use Black Lightning. I do agree though that Green Arrow gives you more buffs to be doing more damage. It's just that me personally, it depends on how I'm feeling, whether or not I want to do more damage or I just want to chill. Anyways guys, that's about it. I don't know how many questions I answered, but it was a lot. I usually just count them after I'm done finishing editing the video. But yeah, again, if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer in the next Q&A, leave them down in the comment section of this video. And I apologize if you leave me questions in other videos and tell me to answer it in the next Q&A. I don't like doing that because I get so many of those messages. If I say yes to one, I'm going to have to say yes to everybody, and that would be such a disaster for me in terms of editing, in terms of finding all the questions. It would be horrible. It's just a lot better if you just wait for the next Q&A and leave your questions down in that comment section, because that way, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to be answering your question because I answer almost all the questions. I think I only left out like 5 or something like that in this video, and the only reason why I don't answer some questions, it's probably because the video that I'm making right now is either too long or because the question you asked me just takes way too long to answer. So those are pretty much the only reasons why. Anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe and stay clean, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you for the support and for all the questions. I really do like making these videos because I get to communicate with you guys and answer a bunch of really cool questions that you guys ask me. Even though it's a pain in the butt to edit it, I still have a lot of fun. So thank you once again.